Burger King presents Breakfast Stories. Today's story, Marty and the 2 for $4 croissant.
Yeah, I go to Burger King. They got that croissant deal, 2 for $4. It's wicked good with the sausage, dude. And 2 for $4, that is a huge bargain. Huge.
Well said, Marty. Tasty, savory, sausage on a flaky croissant. Hey, this is not breakfast. This is a Burger King breakfast. Get 2 croissant sandwiches now for just $4. Only at Burger King. Price and participation vary.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another conversation. Today we have Selwyn Richards. He's the president and executive chef of The Art of Catering, offering this dedication to great food. The award-winning chef and food stylist has successfully catered over 1,000 events since 1994. These events have included large corporations, sporting events, weddings, television, and movie productions. Whether catering a small corporate dinner or a large social event, quality, presentation, friendly, and professionalism is always the number one priority for Selwyn and his team. The art of catering consistently exceeds expectations, ensures the events are celebrated with style, fun, fantastic food, and the wow factor. As usual, my co-host is Chris Daly from Let's Get Mobile and Social. So take it away, Chris.
Thanks, Denise. And Chef Selwyn, welcome to our call. It's good to have you on tonight, sir.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, the evenings are tough, are pretty demanding time for chefs, so it's indeed a privilege having you here.
Yeah, not just evenings, but weekend as well, tend to be our busy time. But it's not too bad. It's all good.
Great. Well, let's begin and learn a little more about you. Tell us a little about your roots.
Well, I was born in Jamaica and moved to Toronto, Canada when I was 19. For a bit there I was studying, I wanted to be an engineer. So I got into food. I've always liked to cook, and my mother liked to entertain, so, I had that bug. I was also a very finicky eater, so it was interesting that I like to, dabble in what I like to eat. Going to school and starting to work part-time, and then I gravitate to the restaurant industry. So that's where it all started, but I seem to have a knack for it, so I really moved up the ladder quite quickly and worked in a pretty amazing place. And after that, I figured, well, I couldn't just be a cook. If I was going to stay in the industry, then I wanted to ultimately be, top chef.
Great.
So, I've worked at places like the CN Tower as sous chef. I was one of the opening chefs for Skydome, baseball stadium, which is now the Rogers Center in Toronto. So that afforded me the opportunity to, exercise your craft and also meet some wonderful people, all the different athletes that come through there. We were part of the World Series team. And, I catered, very interesting events. So my life is not boring, we meet some really wonderful people. And I chalk it up to my love of food, So
Great.
I'm passionate about food, and, I love presentation and I love good food.
Well, we're glad that somebody like you've been blessed. From humble beginnings, you've really used passion and leverage that in a really great way. We do have young people that actually listen to our broadcast, and we'd like to give them inspirational talks like this and allow them to understand what it takes to become the kind of person that you have become. What kind of encouragement would you give to young people considering?
Yeah, I believe that, we're all given one gift by God, whatever we consider him to be. And if we look for that one gift and embrace it, you'll take care of it and it will take care of you. And when you find it, it's not so much work as something that gives you great satisfaction, whatever it is. So rather than looking across the fence at what it is somebody else is doing or, what their paycheck is like, I really advise them to look at what it is that you love. What are you passionate about? And that's the beginning, because your passion is what's going to drive you forward. And as long as you are passionate about something, within that, it has all the element to make you great, So if you're passionate about food, not because you want to get paid, but if you love it and you think you're good at it, then that's a great beginning. And follow your path and, get the necessary training, and eventually you'll get there.
There's several branches to this idea of being a chef. You can actually be a caterer. There may be other elements. You wanted us share some of the different avenues that you think folks should consider?
Yeah, first and foremost, you get the basic training like anything else. So go to some type of cooking school, or look for great, restaurant that will teach you, and then you can specialize. You can be a restaurant chef, you can be a hotel chef, and these days chefs are superstar, They're on TV, they're celebrity, they're all over the place. So you can do a bunch of different things to it. And I believe that in the future, we put so much effort into food that we eat that, a great chef is just going to be like a good physician, where we have to be more mindful of the nutrition aspect of it and the stuff that we know is good for you going in your body, with flavor and balance and stuff like that as our lifestyle changes,
That's such a keen insight that you have a consciousness about nutrition. How does that influence some of the offerings that you've developed?
Well, there's, my concept is, I like the food to be good for you, and there's three things. We also eat with our eyes, so I like it to look good, And as a chef, if you put great effort into the way your food look, you're also going to put great effort into the way it tastes, and then you also want to make sure you're using the best ingredients, So it's a win-win all along, So people have the idea sometimes that you take shortcuts and stuff like that, but no real decent chef want to contaminate his food in any way, because it comes from integrity. And a really good chef gets upset when you don't like his food, you know what I mean? So, and the fact that, he's going to do everything to make sure that you're happy, because it's a creation, you create these monumental occasions and elegant stuff or whatever. What's the point if nobody really enjoy it?
So you put you're using food as a tapestry to create your art.
It is, our company is called the Heart of Catering, and it's not by accident, it's because I embraced it. It's our heart, edible heart. So, it's putting your soul on a plate in every way, from start to finish. And when you're able to, I look at it and says, with our food is very unique and big in all cultures, right? When you really think of it. And I look at it and says, when you get married, we're there to do your wedding, so we're blessing you on your way. When the baby comes along, hopefully we turn up again to bless the baby, and with food again, and as they graduate from college and stuff like that, you have that party and birthday stuff, we're there again to celebrate, and eventually when you do pass away, we're there again to comfort them. So every step of our journey in life, we're there for you, and that's all we can offer you is good comfort food to say, well, while you're happy, while you're celebrating, while you're mourning and grieving, here it is. How can we help? And this is the one thing that we can use, is our little food.
So you're there at all the major milestones of one's life. This is great.
But that's why I
it's
consider it a gift. Right? Yeah, I consider it my gift from God,
Okay.
And I can't fix your car. I can't paint your house, I'm going to be the worst plumber or whatever it is. But if I get in the kitchen and you says, you know what, there's nothing to eat, I'm hoping in the cupboard, and then the challenge is to actually try and prepare you a meal, that you said, wow, that was all in my kitchen.
Exactly. So given that, what would you say is your signature presentation that fills you with most satisfaction, given the array of events that you may enter somebody's life with food?
Well, we like doing weddings. I like doing all events, really. But, I like weddings because, you're blessing a couple of the start of your journey, and how traumatic that can be sometimes. And we pride ourselves in the term that I say we don't do wedding food. It's not the standard staple where you say, I'm going to a wedding and, the guest knows what they're going to get, right? So they probably go to a Burger King before they get there so that they can, feel satisfied with something before they get there. They know they won't like the food. It's going to be dry chicken and, mushroom sauce or whatever it is, some tough roast.
Okay.
I don't know, but for me, when you walk away from an event and at the end of the night, you get all these rave reviews, and the couple are so elated, because everybody is congratulating them, not just on a wonderful event, but on the meal, and that's how you make your impact, So whatever our event is, I want to make sure that we give you the wow factor.
That's wonderful. This is certainly a very challenging business to enter. If you could just part the screen for some of us and apart from the artistic side, give us insight in some of the major challenges you've encountered and how you've conquered them. Well,
it's very challenging, the chef lifestyle is the hours are the crap, because as you talked about, you're busy on weekends, you're busy on evenings, it could be early mornings, it could be in the middle of a field somewhere or whatever it is. So you have to really like what it is you're doing, and you can't just be doing it for the money. And also there's challenges where any number of things could happen, a piece of equipment could malfunction in the middle of an event, and what do you do? How do you turn around and says, well, I'm going to be able to accommodate it regardless what. So you have to have that mindset that when the problem comes along, you're able to just move past them, turn them into an opportunity, rather than falling apart. So that's how I look at it. Okay, what can we do to fix the problem, whatever it is, And at the end of the day, the guests should never know that there is a problem unless it's something major.
Okay.
And that's great satisfaction. That's great satisfaction when it could be all chaos and all hell's breaking loose and nobody in the front of the house knows that there's a problem back there.
Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts back there and stuff can happen. Is there a favorite story you'd like to share regarding challenge?
Well, we were doing this TV show one day, and, I'm a food stylist as well, so we do a lot of, we do TV production, and it happens in the weirdest place. And usually when we go in, the scene is set up, and it was a restaurant scene, and, usually it's in the restaurant, so they have a kitchen, and you could finish off your plates and do whatever it is. And the restaurant owner was upset that he wasn't doing the meal. And, hence he said, well, the kitchen wasn't part of the deal. So I said, no problem. I had the guys put up a tent on the sidewalk, and I went on the sidewalk and made my food. And
Okay.
it was just as beautiful as anything.
So you
so
innovated
like
right
that.
on the spot.
Yeah, stuff like that happens. You don't cry about it. You just try to fix it.
You've served a lot of people in your time given the places that you've actually worked at. Is there a favorite person that you've served that stands out in your mind?
I have an interesting story. I mean, I remember being back at Skydome, and we were responsible for feeding the players and stuff like that. It was one of the World Series, and Joe Carter actually flying ribs from Kansas City. And I was a bit disgusted at that because I'm thinking, did he think that we couldn't cook, or food wasn't good enough all these years? Then later on, I realized that it wasn't so much about what he thought about our food. It's cultural. And we like what we like. So his favorite place in Kansas City was what he wanted to share with his buddies. During that period of time. So it's interesting how food invoke those emotions that you can actually, fly in ribs from, so far away just to share with your buddies, and I hope I have that type of effect on people, The one signature thing about us that I like is we're consistent, Someone will be at an event, say 10 years ago, and they happen to be at an event again 10 years later, and they're looking and saying, well, I recognize this food. I recognize this food. And it's a wonderful feeling that people actually do that. They'll go to the event and they see the setup and they says, this looks like part of catering.
Okay.
And that's the way I like that the brand is trending,
That's wonderful. I know along with doing all these marvelous things, there's also a thought of you writing a book as a part of your legacy. What would you be capturing in its content, and where are you in the process of writing?
Well, yeah. I'm trying to write a cookbook, and I would say probably about 70 pages.
All right.
I just need to block the time and be inspired to get it done. It's all in my head. Just had to get it out on paper. And my assistant planned to really drag it out of me one way or the other. And so hopefully within the next year, we'll be able to get that done. And I want it to be fun, I want it to be like I'm having a conversation with you. I like food, and I like the way food relates to your soul, So if we could do that, and then, we also have a line where there's a company called Grace. They're big in the Caribbean and in North America here. But we have also done a series of cooking videos that's posted on YouTube for them as well, where people can go on YouTube and type in my name, Selwyn Richards, and see us cooking all these different dishes, 15, 20 different recipes, and available online.
That's wonderful. So, Chef Selwyn Richards, given your refined sensibilities, who can cook for the chef?
Well, I'm not a fussy eater, whatever it is,
Okay.
Because, the ironic thing about me and food is I'll prepare a wonderful meal, and at the end of the night, I'm just looking for breakfast, believe it or not. I just want to have, hacky and saltfish, or, bacon and eggs, whatever it is. But, it's one of the most ironic things, But I mean, I don't want you to try to impress me. Just do what it is that you do.
Right. Given our audience, I know would like to know how would they can take advantage of your delightful offerings. How would they reach you if they'd like to actually use your services?
Our website is www.theheartofcatering.com. That's THEART of catering.com. And, her phone number, office number is 905-619-1059. And the thing is, we travel all over the place. If the price is right, we have done wedding in Connecticut, New York. We have done it in Florida and, Caribbean. We go all over Canada. So we're able to move along and do it successfully. In this year, the start of the Jamaica 50th celebration was in Ottawa, Canada. And we went to Canada. We went to Ottawa to do the launch, which was in the government conference center, very high level. And we didn't even have a kitchen there. So we got a kitchen in Quebec. Drove an hour to the government center, and we were able to feed 600 people for the launch of the Jamaica 50th celebration. So I love those challenges where we can, if you look at the caliber, and yet we can make it work.
You're portable, and you can deliver wherever you are. Where there's an event, you're that mobile that you can actually make it happen.
Yeah, well, I have a running joke that one of these days they'll give me a candle to cook with, and by God, I will.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. As we close, is there some parting inspiration you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I'm a believer. I believe in God, and I think we're all created for a purpose. And as I said before, once we find what our purpose is, it's just to embrace it. And we can't help but touching other people's lives with the gift that we have been given, So I encourage everybody to figure out what your passion is again, what it is that make you get happy, get your soul excited and fired, And for us, at the end of an event, it's not even so much about the paycheck. It's just the satisfaction, the smile on someone's face that you have just fed them, but it's like you have touched their soul, and that for me is very important. It means we're on the right path and we're doing justice to the gift that we have been given. So my ego is never going to enter into it, because I see it as just a tool. I'm just an individual, a vessel that a conduit to something, So
so wonderful.
I'm very humbled by what it is I do and how I do it.
Well, God bless you, sir. Chef Selwyn Richards, thank you so much for making our word better to your artistry that delights our palates and our senses.
You're most welcome.
And to learn more about Jamaican diaspora, visit JamaicanDiaspora.com. To learn more about Chris Daly, visit Let'sGetMobileAndSocial.com. And Selwyn's website, again, is theartofcatering.com. And that also has his newsletter archived there, so we can see more of him there. And Grace Cooking, that is with Maisie. That's an excellent show for you Jamaicans and Caribbeans who want to see Selwyn in action. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Take care now.
Thank you.
Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
You are a mighty fortress of supreme knowledge. Progressive Direct has not only revealed their rates, but those of their top competitors. If you were any more in the know, you would be drowning in, the know.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with top competitors' rates, because knowledge is power. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not cooking dinner for one. I'm on horseback, galloping across the Scottish moors towards my one true love. There, through the mist, I see my beloved, kilts flapping in the breeze. The fibers of his shirt struggle against his bulging muscles as he takes me from my horse and... my frittata!
Go to audible.com/start trial, and your first download is free. Audible. Stories that surround you.